The love and hip-hop universe is spinning out of control again. Yandy Smith has been exposed for lying yet again, and this time the fallout is messier than anyone imagined. The streets are buzzing with whispers that Jasmine and Rasheeda might not just be rivals anymore, but locked into some kind of twisted sister-wife situation that has fans absolutely stunned. Betrayal, secrets, and shocking alliances are ripping through friendships and relationships, and the truth is uglier than the lies. The question everyone's asking is, how deep does Yandy's deception really go? And why are Jasmine and Rasheeda tangled up in it? The love and hip-hop world is buzzing once again, and this time it's Yandy Smith who finds herself at the center of a storm. She's no stranger to controversy. She's been called out for half-truths, for bending the narrative, and for painting herself as the saint while everyone else looks like the villain. But now the walls are closing in on her because Yandy has been caught lying again, and the fallout is nastier than ever. What's making the situation even more explosive is how Jasmine and Rasheeda have suddenly found themselves tangled together in the chaos. With rumors swirling that they're in some kind of twisted sister-wives arrangement. Fans don't know what to believe, but one thing is certain: lies are piling up. And the truth is tearing this circle apart. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind. Yandy has always positioned herself as the boss chick, the business-savvy wife, the one who keeps her family and her empire intact while others fall apart. On the surface, she plays the role of the responsible one, the woman who steps in when her man can't. The woman who uplifts her community, the woman who never lets herself look messy. But behind the cameras, whispers have always followed her. Castmates and even former friends have called her out for spinning stories, hiding inconvenient truths, and presenting her side of events in ways that benefit her image. And this isn't just about perception. Over the years, Yandy's truths have often been proven shaky. From messy business deals to questionable timelines about her relationship with Mendices. People have caught her saying one thing on camera and doing another off-screen. Every time Yandy fights back with her polished explanations, her composed clapbacks, and her carefully crafted narratives. But this time, receipts are stacked too high. The latest blow-up began when rumors surfaced linking Jasmine Washington, the woman known for shaking up Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage, to a drama involving Yandy. At first, fans dismissed it as another attempt to stir the pot. But then Rasheeda's name got pulled in. And suddenly the whispers weren't just about cheating scandals or baby mama drama. They were about alliances. According to insiders, Jasmine and Rasheeda, two women who should be sworn enemies given their past with Kirk, have been spotted spending suspicious amounts of time together. Photos, vague captions, and cryptic comments online have fans questioning whether the two have formed some kind of unholy alliance. The streets are calling it a sister-wives situation, not literally in the traditional sense, but symbolically. Because instead of fighting each other, Jasmine and Rasheeda seem to be playing nice, almost as if they've agreed to share space, share attention, share secrets. So where does Yandy come in? This is where it gets messy. Yandy, who has long more positioned herself as a mediator and voice of reason among the women, reportedly downplayed the extent of her involvement. She claimed she didn't know the full story, that she wasn't inserting herself, that she was simply trying to keep the peace. But the receipts say otherwise. Screenshots have emerged showing Yandy privately speaking to both Jasmine and Rasheeda, seemingly playing both sides of the fence. With Rasheeda, she paints Jasmine as the problem. With Jasmine, she paints Rasheeda as the hypocrite. All the while, Yandy publicly pretends to be neutral. When these receipts hit the blogs, fans erupted. Once again, Yandy was caught twisting narratives, bending the truth, and hiding her real role in the drama. And what's worse, her lies may have directly fueled the bizarre bond between Jasmine and Rasheeda. Instead of tearing them apart, Yandy's manipulation seems to have pushed the two women closer together. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? And in this case, Yandy's duplicity may have turned to women who should never be on the same side into allies against her. The betrayal stings even more because Yandy has long insisted she doesn't move messy. On Love and Hip Hop, she built her brand on being above the chaos. She'd scold castmates for fighting, she'd act disgusted at scandals, and she'd present herself as the one who had everything under control. But now, the mask is slipping. If Yandy was truly the honest, transparent queen she claims to be, why do the receipts tell a completely different story? For Rasheeda, this is a nightmare. She has spent years trying to rebuild her marriage, trying to hold her family together after Kirk's infidelity and Jasmine's shocking baby scandal nearly destroyed everything. She fought hard to keep her dignity intact in the public eye. But now, her name is back in the mud linked to Jasmine in ways she never wanted. Fans are whispering that Rasheeda has given up fighting Jasmine, that she's tolerating her presence, and that she's being forced into a bizarre arrangement, where Jasmine is no longer the enemy but a co-star in her real-life drama. For Jasmine, on the other hand, this is validation. For years, she was painted as the villain, the homewrecker, the woman who came between a husband and wife. But now, with Rasheeda by her side, or at least no longer fighting her, Jasmine looks less like the problem and more like someone who has been unfairly demonized. If Rasheeda can be in the same room as her, if Rasheeda can even consider building some kind of alliance, then maybe Jasmine wasn't the only one to blame all along. And through it all, Yandy is the one who looks the worst. Because by lying, by playing both sides, she has positioned herself as the common denominator in a drama that doesn't even directly involve her marriage. This isn't about Mendices. This isn't about her household. And yet somehow Yandy has inserted herself so deeply that she's now being dragged harder than anyone else. The fans aren't holding back. Social media is roasting her with comments like, "Yandy, always acting like she's above the drama." But she's the messiest of them all. She's forever lying. At this point, does Yandy even know what the truth is? And the one that stings the most. She's the reason Rasheeda and Rasheeda are playing nice because Yandy's lies made them realize who the real snake was. For someone who prides herself on image and control, Yandy has lost grip of the narrative. The story isn't Yandy the peacemaker, it's Yandy the liar. And once that label sticks, it's hard to shake. What makes this situation even juicier is the potential fallout. Rasheeda and Jasmine truly are forming some kind of alliance, sister wives or otherwise. It could completely upend the dynamics of this show. Imagine two women with a history that explosively turns their energy not against each other, but against Yandy. That's the kind of twist that sends shockwaves through the entire cast. And given how deep Yandy's lies run, she may not be able to talk her way out this time. The biggest question now is, how will Yandy respond? She's been caught in lies before, but this situation is different. This isn't just one person calling her out, it's a messy triangle with the potential to blow up her credibility completely. If she doubles down, she risks exposing more receipts. If she apologizes, she risks admitting that she's been fake all along. Either way, her reputation as the boss chick who doesn't move messy is in serious danger. And for fans, spectacle is just beginning. Because if Yandy's lies are the glue holding this chaos together, once the truth fully unravels, the entire house of cards might collapse. The fallout from Yandy's lies has exploded far beyond what anyone expected. What started as whispers of shady conversations and behind-the-scenes manipulation has now turned into full-blown chaos across social media, in the blogs, and even among castmates. Yandy's carefully polished image as the level-headed businesswoman is crumbling piece by piece. And instead of looking like the peacemaker, she's being exposed as the puppet master, pulling strings from the shadows. The receipts keep stacking up. Screenshots of messages where Yandy is clearly speaking out of both sides of her mouth have fans questioning her integrity like never before. In one exchange, she tells Rasheeda that Jasmine just wants relevance and that she shouldn't give her any shine. Yet, in another conversation with Jasmine, Yandy calls Rasheeda insecure and accuses her of pretending everything's perfect when she knows the marriage has been on life support for years. These contradictions aren't just casual slip-ups. They're calculated moves designed to make both women depend on Yandy for guidance, keeping her in the center of the drama. But here's the problem. Yandy underestimated Jasmine and Rasheeda. For years, the two women were mortal enemies, trapped in an ugly triangle with Kirk at the center. Jasmine was painted as the homewrecker, Rasheeda as the scorned wife, and Kirk as the man who couldn't keep his vows straight. The betrayal was so deep that fans never thought Rasheeda and Jasmine would ever be able to sit in the same room, let alone be spotted together laughing. But now, with Yandy's lies bubbling to the surface, both women realized they had more in common than they thought. They'd both been misled, manipulated, and painted as characters in someone else's story. That realization flipped the script. Instead of continuing to fight each other, Jasmine and Rasheeda shifted their focus to the real culprit Yandy. The sister wives label fans have been throwing around isn't about romance or marriage. It's about an unlikely alliance. It's about two women who were supposed to hate each other finally realizing they could get farther working together than tearing each other down. And in the middle of it all is Yandy, who suddenly went from trusted confidant to common enemy. The blogs ate it up. Headlines screamed things like, Yandy's web of lies finally catches up to her. Rasheeda and Jasmine join forces as Yandy, the real snake. Love and hip-hop's sister wives. Fans were gagging at the possibility of Rasheeda and Jasmine becoming allies. Some cheered them on, saying it was about time two women stopped letting a man or a manipulator pit them against each other. Others couldn't believe Rasheeda would even entertain Jasmine after years of heartbreak. But one thing was clear. Yandy's name was being dragged harder than anyone else's. Behind the scenes, Yandy is reportedly fuming. People close to her say she feels set up, like the receipts were timed to destroy her reputation right when she was trying to position herself as the queen of calm this season. Yandy has allegedly been calling friends, demanding loyalty, and plotting her clapback. But the problem is, the evidence is too strong. Every time she tries to explain away one message, another pops up. Every time she points a finger, three more point back at her. Meanwhile, Rasheeda has been playing it smart. Instead of lashing out in her usual fiery fashion, she's been calm, calculated, and unbothered, at least on the surface. That calmness speaks volumes. By refusing to feed into Yandy's narrative, Rasheeda is letting the receipts speak for themselves. And Jasmine, for once, isn't the one being dragged through the mud. She's relishing in the fact that the spotlight isn't on her mistakes, but on Yandy's lies. For Jasmine, this is redemption. For Rasheeda, it's validation. For Yandy, it's a nightmare. But here's where the story gets even juicier. The sister wives narrative is catching fire. And fans are starting to speculate if Rasheeda and Jasmine are actually plotting a business move together. Think about it. What better way to flip the script than for two women once torn apart by a man to turn their pain into power? Imagine Rasheeda and Jasmine launching a joint project, a podcast, or even a spin-off series where they tell their side of the story. That kind of move would send shockwaves through the franchise. And it would leave Yandy completely sidelined. And that's Yandy's biggest fear, irrelevance. For years, she's maintained her spot by being the calm in the storm, the one producers and castmates looked to for balance. But if Rasheeda and Jasmine can carry the drama themselves while exposing Yandy as the manipulator, her role disappears. She's no longer the glue, she's the problem. And in reality TV, once the audience stops seeing you as essential, your seat at the table is in danger. Fans are split. Some are dragging Yandy mercilessly, saying this is karma for years of half-truths and polished lies. Others are defending her, saying everyone manipulates in reality TV and that Yandy's just being targeted because she's strong enough to handle it. But the one thing nobody can deny is that Yandy's empire is shaking. Her credibility is in shambles. Her alliances are crumbling. And the people she thought she controlled are banding together against her. It's ironic, isn't it? Yandy, who has always bragged about being loyal, honest, and above the mess, is now being accused of being the messiest of them all. And unlike in the past, where she could smooth things over with a heartfelt speech or a quick social media live, this time the truth is too messy to clean up with words alone. So what's next? Sources say Yandy is gearing up for a showdown. She's reportedly planning to confront Rasheeda and Jasmine face-to-face, armed with her own receipts, ready to spin the narrative back in her favor. But the risk is huge. If her evidence doesn't land, if her words don't stick, she could end up looking even worse. And with Jasmine and Rasheeda standing united, Yandy might finally be outnumbered in a way she's never been before. The streets are watching closely. Every move, every post, every caption is being dissected. Fans are waiting for the next live, the next clapback, the next blow-up. And deep down, everyone knows this isn't just reality TV drama anymore. This is a real battle for credibility, respect, and survival in a world where perception is everything. For Jasmine and Rasheeda, the alliance, no matter how shakier, represents a new chapter. For Yandy, it could be the end of hers. And as the drama heats up, one question lingers. Will Yandy find a way to escape the web of lies she spun? Or has she finally written herself into a corner she can't climb out of? The storm around Yandy. Smith shows no signs of slowing down. What was once just another messy love and hip-hop storyline has now spiraled into a full-on battle for credibility, loyalty, and survival. And the craziest part? The drama has flipped completely upside down. Instead of Jasmine being the villain and Rasheeda being the heartbroken wife, the two women are walking side by side while Yandy, long considered the voice of reason, is the one drowning in scandal. This reversal of roles has everyone talking. For the first time in years, Jasmine isn't carrying the weight of being the other woman. She isn't the one fans are dragging across the internet. Instead, she's sitting back sipping tea, watching Yandy get torn to pieces for doing what Jasmine has always been accused of, playing both sides, telling half-truths and manipulating the situation to her advantage. In Jasmine's eyes, this is poetic justice. She spent years fighting to be heard, years being labeled as the destroyer of families. But now, the spotlight is on Yandy. And Jasmine is reveling in the fact that she finally has company in the hot seat. For Rasheeda, the situation is more complicated. She's not exactly thrilled about being linked to Jasmine after all. That name alone drags up years of pain and humiliation. But what Rasheeda is realizing is that Jasmine may not be the biggest villain in her story anymore. In fact, Jasmine might have been just as much a pawn in someone else's game as she was. And when two women realize they've been played by the same person, the only natural response is to stop fighting each other and start looking at the real source of the problem. And that problem is Yandy. Every attempt Yandy has made to control the narrative has blown up in her face. When she tried to paint herself as neutral, the receipts showed she was anything but. When she tried to present herself as the peacemaker, her words revealed she was stirring the pot. And when she leaned on her reputation as the business-savvy queen who doesn't do messy, the internet clapped back with a mountain of evidence proving she's just as messy, if not messier, than anyone else on the show. The fans are ruthless. They've labeled Yandy the puppet master of love and hip-hop, the one who hides behind a polished exterior while orchestrating chaos for everyone else. And while that might make for good TV, it doesn't make for good friendships or alliances. One by one, people are starting to distance themselves from her, realizing that being aligned with Yandy might cost more than it's worth. And here's where things take a dangerous turn. Yandy is not used to being the one on the defensive. For years, she's been able to clap back with authority. to hold her composure and to remind everyone why she's one of the most respected figures in the franchise. But this time, she's outnumbered. Rasheeda and Jasmine's new alliance has turned the tables. And no matter how strong Yandy's words are, the optics are clear she's standing alone, while they're standing together. Insiders claim the tension is set to explode in upcoming confrontations. Producers are allegedly scrambling to capture every second of the drama because they know this storyline is pure gold. But for Yandy, this isn't just TV, it's her reputation, her brand, her legacy. She's built an empire outside of the show, and the last thing she wants is for people to start questioning whether she's as honest in business as she is dishonest in her personal dealings. When you get labeled a liar on reality TV, people start wondering if that label extends to the rest of your life. And that's the kind of stain you can't wash off easily. Meanwhile, Rasheeda is walking a fine line. On one hand, she's enjoying the fact that, for once, she isn't the one being humiliated. She's not the one crying on camera or fighting to prove her marriage has value. Instead, she's standing strong, watching Yandy take the hits. But on the other hand, Rasheeda knows aligning too closely with Jasmine could backfire. Fans may cheer for their sister wives moment now, but memories are long, and many still believe Jasmine played a huge role in her marital pain. That's why Rasheeda is choosing her words carefully, showing unity with Jasmine without fully embracing the label fans are running with. It's a delicate balancing act, and if she plays it right, it could elevate her role in the show while finally putting some respect back on her name. As for Jasmine, she's loving every second of it. She's posting cryptic captions, teasing fans, and fueling the rumors without ever outright confirming anything. It's a strategy that works perfectly in her favor because it keeps her relevant without making her look desperate. For once, she doesn't have to defend herself. She can let the internet, the blogs, and the receipts do the work for her. And the more Yandy scrambles, the better Jasmine looks. So what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Some believe Yandy will eventually swallow her pride and issue a public apology, admitting she lied and begging for forgiveness. Others think she'd double down, denying everything, and painting herself as the victim of a smear campaign. But the problem is, no matter what route she takes, her credibility is already damaged. Once people see you as a liar, doesn't matter how many times you insist you're telling the truth, doubt lingers. And then there's the possibility nobody saw coming. What if Rasheeda and Jasmine truly lean into the sister wives label and flip it into a brand? Think about it: two women once torn apart by betrayal, now standing together as proof that you can turn pain into power. A podcast, a clothing line, even a reality show, spin-off, fit writes itself. And if that happens, Yandy could be left completely out of the picture. Watching from the sidelines as two women she thought she could manipulate rise higher than ever before. This is more than just drama, it's a power shift. Yandy's lies have cost her the trust of two women she thought she had under control. Rasheeda and Jasmine, once enemies, are now stronger together. And the fans, the blogs, and the streets are all waiting to see how this plays out. At the end of the day, the question isn't just whether Yandy lied, because at this point, the receipts have answered that loud and clear. The real question is whether she can recover. Can Yandy rebuild her reputation after being exposed to this brutally? Can she repair relationships with women who now see her as the common enemy? Or has she finally been caught in a web too tangled to escape? One thing is for sure. The love and hip-hop universe thrives on betrayal, redemption, and shocking alliances. And right now, Yandy is sitting in the villain's chair while Rasheeda and Jasmine walk hand in hand, ready to flip the narrative completely. The Sister Wives storyline may have started as a joke, but it's becoming the symbol of a new era where enemies unite. Liars get exposed, and the truth cuts deeper than any rumor ever could. So buckle up, because this isn't just another messy chapter. This is the kind of drama that changes the game forever. This storyline is pure chaos, And we had to break it all down. But now it's your turn to weigh in because this conversation is complete without you. Do you think Yandy's lies finally caught up with her? Or is she being unfairly dragged for drama? And what about Rasheeda and Jasmine? Are they really coming together as some kind of unexpected sister wives alliance? Or is this just another wild twist that fans are exaggerating? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. And trust me, this debate is about to get heated. If you've been locked in with me all the way to the end, smash that like button so we know you want more of these deep dives into the love and hip-hop universe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this saga is only getting messier. And you won't want to miss what comes next. And listen if you're really rocking with us. Share this video with your friends, group chats, and socials. Let's get this drama trending and make sure everybody's talking about it. Because when it comes to love and hip-hop, the truth is always stranger than fiction.